Good morning. If I can have your attention for just a minute. I'm Harvey Godwin, Jr. I'm chairman of the Lumbee tribe. We're proud to be here today. Thank you all Lumbees that came today from back home in North Carolina and from all over the nation, but in particular, the Lumbee Indians from this area, from Baltimore and Washington, D.C. Thank you and welcome. I'm here today to introduce our cultural presentation from the Lumbee tribe. Proud to do it. Yesterday, our Boys and Girls Club from the Lumbee tribe laid a wreath on the tomb of the unknown soldier. And what was significant about that is the first time we had done it, but the wreath that we laid was our tribal colors. And there was a pine cone patch made out of real pine cone petals in the middle, about this big. And our youth director, Dr. Rosemary Larry Townsend, helped design that. But it was the whole wreath was our culture and our symbol. But one thing that happened right before the ceremony, when we were standing at the top of the steps, a huge red-tailed hawk just swooped down over the actual tomb and landed in a tree. And then afterwards, our host, who was a sergeant, brought us back up, and he turned and asked us, did we have any questions, and thanked us. And he said that, and he said it precisely, he said that pine cone patch really was significant with your wreath. And I've watched a lot of videos, and that's the first time the host ever made a remark like that. So I want to thank everybody, the tribe, the Boys and Girls Club, everybody that helped us accomplish that yesterday. Had a great reception last night. Thank you all for coming. We had a great time, fellowship. You know, the spirit is here today. It was here last night, and our goal is to have this spirit every day, this same spirit. Take it back with us and have it every day. The culture team I'm about to present is led by Littleturtle. His father, his grandfather, and his great-grandfather were all spiritual leaders and traditional leaders for the Lumbee people. And I'm so proud that he's taken up this mantle and on behalf of the Lumbee people. He conducts his culture class every Monday night from 6 to 8 at the tribal headquarters, and we have all races of people, non-Indians and Indians, all different tribes, all ages that participate. So he's driving along with John Stickboy Oxendine and Reggie Brewer. They're working together to make our culture what it needs to be right now, but what it's going to carry us into the next 7 generations. I'm so proud of what they're doing. And God bless you all for being here. So, Littleturtle.
All right, we're going to get this show started. I see a lot of Lumbees here. I see a lot of Lumbees. Yeah. I sat back and I was thinking this morning when I got up, I said, our people has come a long way. Our people has come a long way. We get to showcase our awesome culture here in Washington, D.C. I want to thank, we have a lot of our tribal council out here. I want to thank our tribal council for being here. They're great representatives for our tribe. They traveled a long way to be here, along with our chairman. There's members of other tribes here. I'd like to thank them for coming and being here with us during Lumbee Days. So as you know, Lumbee are an amalgamation of various different tribes that came together. We came from Siouan-speaking tribes, Iroquois-speaking tribes, and Algonquin-speaking tribes. And we came and we settled together because we had to, because there were so many wars that were going on and colonial encroachment that was going on upon our traditional tribal territories that we had to band together for survival. So when you think about Lumbee, automatically think about unity, because without that unity, there would be no Lumbee people today. So we came together, we formed this huge tribal community, and we agreed upon that name Lumbee to encompass those different tribes that came and settled here. So when you're a Lumbee, you have so much culture, you have so much in your background to be proud of, because we were the ones that never left. We stayed, along with all the rest of the tribes that stayed in North Carolina. We're survivors. We're survivors. When we stayed here on the East Coast, we're survivors. So we have a lot to be proud of, all right? I like to tell people, I said the people here on the East Coast was the ones we never got conquered. We stayed and we never got conquered. So we're really, really proud of that. So you're going to see a lot of different styles of dancing. You're going to see different styles of singing, because I told you Lumbees have so much. It's very multifaceted. And I encourage all of you to walk around and see our different exhibits, to see our foods and to see our clothing and to see our herbs and our history. Go and see all of this, because when you're a Lumbee, you have a very multifaceted culture to be proud of. So we're going to start off first with our traditional seed planting dance and a song to honor our women. This is really, really important, y'all. We always want to start with our women first and put them in a place of honor. A lot of the tribes that you encounter here in the East Coast were matrilineal people. That means our women, they rule the house, so to speak. I think that still goes on a little bit today. Yeah, I know the Lumbee women love that. Lumbee women say, yeah, that's still going on. So you're going to see them doing this shuffling with their feet. And this represents planting seeds. This represents life. And this helps our women to be able to reaffirm their connection with the Creator and to reaffirm their place in creation. As you all know, women are the keeper of the blood. They carry on that life. So they have a very, very important responsibility to our respective tribal nations. And so this dance has been done a long time, all the way from North Carolina, all the way up to New York and those surrounding areas. So it was done all up and down the East Coast for our women to go out and do their shuffle dance. So I always tell the women when they dance this dance, they have a good mind. We always say this whenever we sing our songs and dance our dances and speak on these things. We say always do it with a good mind. Always have good medicine when you go and you do this. That's what I always tell them when they're dancing this. Think about something good. Think about something good. We're always planting seeds. We're planting seeds every day in our lives. So we're going to sing a couple of different sets of songs for these women. They're going to go counterclockwise. Now, I know a lot of you have seen powwows, and powwows, they go clockwise. Where they go counterclockwise, traditionally for their hearts to be towards the fire. Towards the fire. And our fire is where we would put our tobacco and everything to send our prayers up during our ceremonies and prayers and things. So they're going to go counterclockwise during this dance. All right, here we go. right, so right quick, while my guys are going to go start getting ready, I want to brag on everybody real fast before I call my women up. I'm going to have them explain a little bit about their outfits, but I want to brag just a little bit. Everybody that you saw out there, we have culture classes through our Boys and Girls Club, and a lot of those were Boys and Girls Club participants that are part of the Boys and Girls Club, come up to our culture class, and then a lot of them were in our Boys and Girls Club, grew up through our Boys and Girls Club, became adults, and still continued to carry on the culture that they were taught through the culture classes. So I'm really proud. I'm really, really proud of what our Boys and Girls Clubs are accomplishing in our tribal territories. Yesterday, they did the laying of the wreath of the unknown soldier, and that was magnificent. For any of y'all that might have got to see that, that was a really spiritual and uplifting moment. So we're doing great, great things. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of our youth, all the way up into our elders. I'm just really, really proud of them. So you saw a couple different outfits out there. Right quick, I'm going to bring Satara out and talk a little bit about this style. So this is more the old style. All right, this is more what you would see after contact with the trade cloth and the wrap skirt and the sash. And then people talk about the purse. They said, oh, they got a nice little pretty purse. But of course, you know, back then, a lot of times you didn't have pockets. And so that's where they would carry a lot of their medicines, herbs, and things of that nature. And so that kind of shows where we came from. That's some of our old style ways of dressing there. So thank you. And then next up, I'm going to have our Miss Lumbee. I'm going to have Madison Davenport actually come up and explain on the podium about the history of our pine cone patchwork dress. She is our Miss Lumbee, and she's gonna be able to tell you all the history that comes along with it and what that represents for our people. So if y'all would, Miss Lumbee, Madison Davenport.
Hello, everyone. My name is, as he said, Madison Davenport, and I am the reigning Miss Lumbee. And beside me is our teen Miss Lumbee, Malia Hunt. And we are two of the Lumbee ambassadors, and we go around to represent the Lumbee tribe. I arrived yesterday in Washington, and many people stopped me out of curiosity to what I was wearing. And even some people said that they would expect me to wear hide around my body and feathers in my hair. And I just said that, you know, the Lumbee tribe is a very unique and different tribe, and so are our regalias. And even in the 1800s, this is when we developed this style dress. You would see women in floor-length, long-sleeve dresses with a work apron and buttons along the dress. And during this time, this is when the European settlers came in contact with our Lumbee people, and we adopted this style dress. And along with the work apron, during this time, our additions to the Lumbee regalia did progress. In 1993, Natasha Tilson Wagner competed for Miss Indian USA. With the help, love, and support of Miss Cat Littleturtle and Mr. Hayes Allen Locklear, we created the Lumbee regalia. And even though it did have the work dress and the work apron, along it was also the Lumbee pine cone patchwork that you see today. And this patchwork is just one way that symbolizes the Lumbee people, because we are the people of the pines. And if you were to flip over the bottom of a pine cone, you would see this beautiful design. And it was first seen by Miss Maggie Lowry, who created a quilt and had the design on it. And now we move into today's time, and you can tell that our regalias have a little bit more than just a pine cone patchwork apron and a work dress. It has what symbolizes who we are. So my regalia has the pine trees and the Lumber River, and the dark tones of it symbolizes the Lumbee lands. And Malia's symbolizes the people who sacrificed their lives to save our country and our Lumbee warriors. But my next move as Miss Lumbee is to create a regalia that symbolizes a work dress, to symbolize the women of the 1800s. Because I always say that the beauty of our Lumbee women does not come from our regalias. It comes from the ferocious tenacity that we have obtained since the 1800s. Thank you.
Let's give Madison a round of applause one more time. Her and the rest of the ambassadors are fine examples of strong indigenous women, and they carry themselves in a great, great way and do great things for our community. So I'm really proud of them. All right, so the guys said they were ready to dance. Said they're ready. So we're going to show y'all the war dance. We'll show you some of the different war dances that we do. Now, traditionally, when you go and travel way, 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 way back, a long, long time ago, to all these different villages that the tribes have, the villages would actually greet you with a war dance. And the warriors would go out and dance this dance to show you how great of an ally they could be, or how great of an enemy that they could be. And so we've worked really, really hard to be able to have these war dance songs and be able to hold on to this, to be able to hold on to so much of this, because as I tell people, as fast as you have it is as fast as you can lose it. And so we're blessed that our people is picking this up again throughout the generations and being able to move this forward. So this war dance, you think, and you just go way, way back in time, and you would have seen something similar to this. And then we're going to show you kind of the progression of the war dance today. So we're going to start off with the old style war dance. We'll give them a second to catch their breath. I want all these guys to come and stand in a straight line for me. Y'all come and stand in a straight line. I want to tell you, if y'all don't know anything about me, just know I love to brag about my people. I'm proud of my people. So, of course, we had John Oxendine, John the Stick Boy Oxendine. He's been working with the tribe for a very, very long time. He was actually one of the people that helped to establish the culture classes through the Boys and Girls Club, and he continues to do amazing, amazing things for our people. He's like a big brother to me. I've known him my entire life, and I just want everybody to give him a round of applause. This is Chris Locklear. He was one of our students from the culture classes from the Boys and Girls Club. He's since grown into a great young man and carries this culture on into his adult life, and he continues actually to teach people now and carry that cycle on in a good way. He's learned the songs and the dances, and he continues to teach people, and so I want everybody to give him a round of applause. This is John Morgan Clark. He also came out to our culture classes. I've known John Morgan since he was real little. I used to give him a real hard time. I pick him all the time. I used to give him a real, real hard time. And he's grown up and really carries himself in such a fantastic way. He dances and goes out and travels all over the United States, powwowing with us and singing with us. He's learned these songs. He goes to ceremony, and he knows who he is. And he's proud to show people who he is, and he's proud to teach. He's proud to teach. So let's give him a round of applause. This is my protege. This is my nephew. This is Nakiah Leviner. And so I've known, of course, Nakiah since he was born. I've seen him grow and grow and grow, and I've seen a lot of myself. I've seen a lot of myself in Nakiah and the way that he carries himself and the passion that he has for his culture. And even at such a young age, he is a cultural leader among his people, and he goes and he travels with me all across the United States and Canada, showcasing who he is and learning this, and he goes to ceremonies with us and carries himself in a good way. Let's give him a round of applause. This is Tristan Clark. And he also was part of the Boys and Girls Club and grew into an adult and continues to carry these ways on. He's really, really good at lyrics. He does a lot of different music work. He's really, really versatile. He sings with us, travels with us, a great dancer. Really, really, really proud of who he is, and he's not scared to showcase that anywhere. I always tell these boys, I said, don't ever be scared to go out and tell people who you are. Showcase it every day that you can, every single opportunity that you can. So I just want to give all of them a round of applause. They're great young men. You know, one of the main reasons I wanted to highlight them, I cannot do what I do without them. They're my brothers, they're my family, along with those young ladies that you saw. They're all family to me. And none of this is possible without them. So it's always good to remind them of how awesome they are. So I'm sure a lot of you have been to powwows, or if you haven't been to a powwow, you have heard of a powwow. Well, powwows is this big, giant, intertribal gathering. All these different tribes come together for these huge celebrations all across Turtle Island. So we really wanted to be able to showcase who we are, wear our clothes, wear our headpieces, tell our story, and not emulate or pick up dances that were brought to us from the West, because those are their dances. And so they have theirs and we have ours in a respectful way. And so this woodland style, this Eastern woodland style, has come about, and it's really came about from our war dances, from those old war dances, what you saw. And so now we're able to go to the powwows across the nation and wear our clothes and dance our style out there and showcase who we are. I'm really proud of all of our woodland people, of all of our Eastern woodland people that are beginning to showcase this style of dance. It's important. It's important. I always tell people, if you don't go out there and tell your story, somebody else is going to tell your story, and they're going to mess it up. So we have to continue to go out there. We have to continue to go out there and tell our story in many different venues and opportunities as we can. So this is going to be the Eastern style woodland dance. I don't know about y'all, that gets me pumped up every time I see that. You know what I mean? I get full energy. So we're going to give John a second to catch his breath. And he's actually going to come out here and talk to you about our traditional flutes and kind of show you the progression of that and tell you some of those other stories of how the flute came to be to us. So John's been playing the flute for a very, very long time. He's a fantastic flute player. I really think y'all's in for a treat here. So, John Oxendine.
Now, one thing about dancing with all these young boys is you got to be in shape to do it. So, tend to breathe a lot, but I'm proud of them. I've seen all of them grow up to be the young men they are. So it's a really good thing to be able to be here today to showcase who we are on such a big event and a big level for our people as Lumbee people. I've been in the tribe for 15 years, so this is a really big moment for me to see where culture class and us having the little thing we had to where it's at today. So to people like our chairman for really pushing culture of who we are as Lumbee people. Also the youth director, Ms. Townsend, or Dr. Townsend, for pushing what she does at culture class and within the Boys and Girls Club. But today, I am here to talk about the flutes and how they came to be and why we use them and what they sound like. So first, I'm going to talk about our traditional flute, what we use at home. And it's river cane. It kind of looks like bamboo, but as river cane bamboo was brought over here, and once it got here, it grows like wildfire. It's really fast. It grows really quickly. River cane, it grows really slow. So for it to get about this big, it takes about 30 years for it to get this size. So we tend, if we see river cane and it's small, we try not to cut it. We try not to do anything with it, just to let it grow so we can use it. At one time, there was a bunch of it here. But once we came, we started cutting, we started moving things, and so we still have quite a bit, but not as much as we used to. But and this is basically what it is, and it's really, actually really simple to make. It's not really hard. You have holes in the top, and where the joints connect, you have a hole on each side of the joint with a little connection, and then you put your tuner on the top, and that's basically how you get your sound. Now this one was handmade, so there's really no key to it. A lot of instruments that you have today have different keys. There's really no key to this one. Is whatever sound you get out of it, that's the sound you play. And basically, one of the old stories that was one of our old legends and our old stories behind the river cane flute and how it became in existence is it's basically a love story. My late grandfather would always tell me that you know, he wanted to learn how to play the flute so he could get the girls to like him, or he could try to play where they could see him. So that's one of the things that was always cool with him, and he called it a courting flute. You know, a lot of old people say we used to court. I'm courting that gal. Well, I'm courting her. You know, so he called it a courting flute. And it's kind of where it came from as far as a courting flute and everything that's with it. But the story behind it is that it actually is a love story. And basically a young man in his tribe really had his eye on a young girl, and he wanted to impress this young girl. So he did a lot of different things, but she never paid him any attention. You know, his grandmother made him a nice warrior shirt. He put it on. He thought he was the man. He was strutting through the village, and she walked to him, and she kept on going by him. He's like, man. So then he goes to his uncle, and he's like, Uncle, please tell me, how do I get this girl to like me? He's like, tell you what, I'm gonna put you on the fastest horse I got, and you're gonna ride through the middle of the village as fast as you can. She's gotta see you. Well, he really shouldn't listen to his uncle, but he did it anyway. So he rides through the middle of the village. There's people following, jumping out the way, stuff. She sees him, she shakes her head and walks the other way. He's like, man, So he gets upset. He goes walking down to the Lumbee River, and he's walking by the river just thinking about what he done, how he messed up. And back home, there's trees we call willow trees, and they're really long, and the branches hang way down to the ground. And they give off really good shade. So a lot of people, when we walk the rivers or we walk in the woods, those willow trees, you can sit up under them, and it feels great when you get up there because there's a lot of good shade there. So he got up under the willow tree, and he took him a nap. And in that nap, he had a dream. And in a dream, a beaver comes up out of the river and gnaws a branch out of that willow tree about yay long. And then a bird, a woodpecker, flies down, pecks holes in the top of the flute, and flies away. And then a songbird comes and lands on top of the flute and gives that flute its song, gives that flute its music. And then that songbird flies off to heaven because it can't live on earth without its music. So that songbird gave the songs to the stick. So the young man wakes up and he looks beside him, and sure enough, the stick's laying there that the beaver gnawed off, the woodpecker put the holes in, and the songbird gave this music to. So he started remembering the song. He was like, okay, what do I do with this? Well, when he done it, the creator gave him the directions on how to play. Said, put it to your lips and blow, and the sound will come out. So as soon as he done it, music started happening. So where do you think he went? You think he went and showed his uncle or his grandmother or anything? He went straight to that girl's, he went straight to her longhouse, and he got in front of her longhouse and he started playing. And when he played, it kind of sounded something like this. So that young girl that heard that music, she come out of her lodge and she was like, okay, I've never heard that before in my life. Who's playing that? So she finally seen him, she finally met him, and they became in love and had a family, and my wife is sitting right over there, and now we have 3 beautiful girls. So that's the story on how I got my wife to fall in love with me. But again, this is our American Indian, and especially with Lumbee, this is our traditional flute. And if you notice, it had a really high pitch to it. So the smaller the flute is, the higher the pitch is. Now in today's times, we can get a lot of flutes machine made, and we can get them keyed. We can get them where they harmonize with each other. So I'm gonna play a different version of a flute to let you see what the progression of flutes have become today. And this is one that's it's also a drone. It's got 2 flutes into one. So one side harmonizes the whole time, and the other side you play with it. And I've got 2 different versions. And if you notice how that one was small, it had a high pitch. This one's not as high, and then the next one I'll play will be really deep. So you'll see the different sounds of how the flute is. And if you know, that one it's not quite as high as the other one, so that's how that one is. And I'm gonna play one more for you and just show you how the level of flutes get from really high to really low. And that it's basically how our flutes came into existence and how we sound today playing different keys and different way flutes are made. If you notice, that was Amazing Grace, and you can sing or play different songs depending on how the flute's made, what key it is, and how the song is wrote. So that's one song that I play a lot back home at church, because with the Lumbee, you know, we understand Christianity is part of our culture, it's part of who we are as Lumbee people. So I always want to promote God in every way that we do. So one of my things that I always like to tell people is that, you know, you can be Indian and be Christian at the same time, and it's absolutely okay to be that way. So I just want to say thank you for letting me come and play and give you a little bit of this. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know we got a lot going on, so I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Kid Littleturtle.
All right, so we have arrived at the last portion of our cultural presentation. So we've sung a lot of songs and danced a lot of dances, and now is the time where we're going to get some audience participation. Everybody's like, no. So we're going to do a friendship dance or a round dance, all right? I'm sure a couple of you have done a round dance before. Let's get a couple of y'all out here. Is there anybody from the Baltimore crowd? Miss Linda, anybody? I would love Miss Linda or any of y'all could come over here. Y'all want to come over here right quick? We're going to do a round dance. Yeah, come on, Miss Linda. Any of the rest of y'all want to come? Yeah, got Dr. Hertel here. Let's see, who else is anybody that I recognize? I want to make sure I get out a couple people here that I recognize. We got Mr. Jeff Anstead from the Commission on Indian Affairs back there. I don't know if he wants to jump in the round dance with us. He's from the Hallawasaponi tribe, traveled a long way to be here. Is there any of our tribal council that wants to jump in here? Where's Corbin? Is Corbin in here? Yeah, there's Corbin. Yeah. Corbin's from our tribal council. We got tribal council in here with us now. This is going to be good. All right. So let's see, where's Stevie at? All right. So y'all go ahead and make a circle. We have Senior Miss Lumbee, Miss Sherry Carter over there. Check her out, y'all. Yeah. Yeah. Glad she came up here to join us. And see, this is really important. I want y'all to think about this for a second. I'm really happy that we had this. Our ambassadors, they rain down from Senior Miss Lumbee, Teen Miss Lumbee, Junior Miss Lumbee, and Little Miss Lumbee. And so we represent all those different generations going up. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I'm really happy to have Miss Sherry Carter and her husband up here to join us for Lumbee Days. Fantastic. Thank you. And so this is our friendship dance. This is our friendship dance. This represents the circle of life. When we come together like this, we are a family. All right, when we're going and holding hands like this, all of our good medicine is just going around. We're all connected in a good way. Miss Stevie Lowry is going to be leading this. Hold up your hand, Stevie. The most important part of this dance, for any of y'all that have not done this before, the most important part of this dance is that you do not let go of your partner's hand. That is the biggest thing you got to do, because then the magic stops and it's just all blowed up. Now, there's going to come a period of time where Stevie's going to turn this round dance into a snake dance, okay? All right, and so then it's just going to be a straight line, just weaving in and out and everything. So she's going to drop hands with Nakaya, all right? But all of you continue to hold hands. Now, at the end of this, she's going to form the circle again, and then y'all all get to run to the center and really scream. I'm talking about, woo! I'm talking about let it loose, all right? Freak everybody out. Everybody's gonna be like, what's the pack of Indians doing in D.C. over there? So y'all get real, real loud with it, okay? And so for any of our younger kids who might be out here, just make sure don't yank on anybody's arm or anything like that. Y'all stay nice and close to each other, all right? So y'all's not pulling on each other's shoulders. We don't want anybody to have any kind of mishap or anything, okay? So this is gonna be our friendship dance, the round dance. And then as you're going around, make sure and watch your step. We have a lot of people out here, which is good, so make sure and just watch your step. Make sure you don't step on nobody's toes. A couple of us is wearing moccasins, so. All right, so I'm gonna jump on stage and get out y'all's way. All right, y'all, here we go. Y'all go ahead and start going around. Feel it. Go ahead and feel the rhythm. Y'all got it. Hey, ha, da, hey, ha. Hey, ha, da, hey, ha. Hey, yee! All right. All the rest of y'all can sit down. I want my ladies to stand up there right quick, and we're about to close it up. I want all my ladies that's danced to the performance to stay up there. Right quick. Let's see, get Madison, King of Lumbee. All right, y'all right here. All right, so y'all have seen them. Y'all seen them do a couple of different things. I want to talk about them right quick. This is Satara Lewis. All right. She has been dancing since she was little, born into a cultural family, carries on her ways and traditions in a fantastic way. Me and her have a beautiful baby girl together named Skya. Yeah, so this is my better half. Yeah, so really proud of her. She keeps me grounded. She keeps me really grounded. My feet to the fire, which is good. This is Stevie Lowry, all right? She's been coming to our culture classes for a very long time. Her mother is Norma Jean. I know a couple of y'all might know Norma Jean. Norma Jean Locklear. That's her mama, and Stevie does a fantastic job going out and showcasing her culture all across the United States with us. And I just want to give her a round of applause. She's a great young lady. This is good old Riley. Good old famous Riley. She goes everywhere with us, and she has such a good heart for what she does. She's truly a caring person, a great role model for our young Indigenous women as they're growing up. She's been doing performances with us for years, and she's always one of the first people that we call when we're going out to showcase some things. Let's give Riley a round of applause. This is Taylor Mullen. Been knowing her all her life. She dances in powwows everywhere. She comes from a really strong cultural family who goes out and continues to practice their songs and dances. And we're really proud of her for being able to come and participate with us here. And she's also part of our Boys and Girls Club over in Hope County. So let's give her a round of applause. This is her sister, Sierra Mullen. And she was actually part of the laying of the wreath ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier yesterday. So she's doing fantastic things representing her Lumbee people, and let's give her a round of applause. She's also part of our Boys and Girls Club. This is Sienna, and she is Miss Nicknao, and she does a fantastic job. I can't brag on her enough. She does a fantastic job going out and showcasing all the tribes in the state of North Carolina, because as the Nicknao representative, as Miss Nicknao, she goes and she showcases all the indigenous tribes of North Carolina, and she does a great job of being true to that and representing all the people of North Carolina in a fantastic way. So let's give her a round of applause. This is our Team Miss Lumbee. This is our Team Miss Lumbee, and I've known her and her family for a very long time. She goes and she's a wonderful singer, wonderful public speaker, and she does a fantastic job of going out and representing her people in such a good way. Let's give her a round of applause. And then all of you are familiar with Madison Davenport, our Miss Lumbee. She once again, been knowing her for forever. She goes out and she represents our people in a great way. She's really good at being able to do public speaking. She has a lot of different talents, so let's give her a round of applause again. And over there, we have Miss Sherry Carter, who I just spoke about a second ago. That's our senior Miss Lumbee, and she is an amazing singer, amazing going out there and representing our people. She's a really strong elder for our Lumbee communities. She's a really strong elder. And then the last set of people I want to brag on is really near and dear to my heart is Mr. Herman and Miss Loretta. They actually made this piece that I'm wearing right now. They are two of our really important elders to go out there. Let's give them a huge round of applause. They are fantastic. They have went out and represented our people for so many years, showing our traditional crafts and telling our traditional stories, and they have taken the Lumbee name everywhere. So let's give them a great round of applause. They are fantastic people, so thank you for everything that you do and continue to do. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that's come out here for the cultural presentation. Y'all's been a fantastic audience. We're going to do another showcase at 1 o'clock. Until then, walk around, learn a little bit of things. We have our timeline over there, different exhibits going on. And if you've ever had any questions about why is the Lumbee, who are the Lumbee people, we have so many Lumbees around here. I'm sure any of us would be happy to answer those questions. Just sit down and get to know us a little bit. Thank you.